What up, brother? Andre Rahimi. I'm already recording. You want to wear this then since you got the guest of honor? It's your Muay Thai. You want to shout out Muay Thai?
Yeah. Rock on, Colorado Muay Thai.
Colorado Muay Thai. Movie Thai.
Muay Thai, Colorado.
Muay Thai, Colorado. Okay. You been going to
Yes.
class, brother?
I had to take a break. I think I
Me
was
too.
down there.
Dude, I had to take a break, man.
I had to take a break for health.
Yeah, for health.
Is that Brock?
Health, mental health?
Nah, mental health would get me good.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. It helps me out. Is that him? Or
Yeah, I think that's Brock.
Rockulus?
Yeah, that's Brock.
Fugitive.
The fugitive.
The fugitive from law.
I guess I'm starting early. Shoot, I'm starting a half hour early. What are we doing?
Are you?
Yeah, what's my recording anyway?
Oh, dang. Better go wake him up.
He said he's upstairs already.
Oh, okay.
He might not want me recording.
Where's
You know how he always has to talk about things
Yes.
that he
Please
doesn't
cut
want to
that
talk
out?
about. Yeah, I ain't editing shit, man. Come on.
So where's Beach? What's his name? Booth and the Truth.
Truth in the Booth.
Oh, that
man.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hi there. You like my baby blues, man? You like
I
my
do.
outfit?
Dude, man, I need to. Oh, dang.
It's supposed to be my It's like beach wear, man.
Nice.
And we were supposed to go to the beach, man, with me and Brock and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all going to Florida. But my wife was like, "We ain't got enough money. We can't go." Makes me real sad. And so I said, "You're right, honey." Because at first, my wife was like, "I can't go, but you can go." And I was like, "Fine,
You should go.
I'll send you pictures, not
Heck
videos."
yeah, I would.
And then,
Hey, if your wife already told you.
and then I had a change of heart. I was like, "That's not right, man.
You're a good husband.
I can't go. If she can't go, I can't go, man." Ding.
Ding dong.
Is that ding my dong all the way over there?
Get
Charlie's.
back to the gym. Jeez.
Yeah, you ain't feeling strong?
Nah, bro.
No?
Freaking losing weight and everything.
Yeah. Losing mass.
I know, dude. I think take that low T stuff that Brock takes.
Oh, yeah? For low T?
Dude, I diagnosed him, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you ain't got no chest hair, you ain't got no leg hair. Like,
You diagnosed him?
Yeah. And he went in and they were like, yeah, you got low T.
that's
But maybe
the thing.
that's a self.
Everybody's got low T, man.
As you get older.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, the problem is it's hard to determine whether it's low T or whether like it's maturity. Because you know what, when we're so virile and when we're so like hopped up and everything, like life is nuts and bananas. But I don't know, I probably could have done without having so much testosterone. I might not have done so much damage. Damage on.
Yeah, maybe.
What's up, guys? Hey.
I heard the doorbell.
Charlie.
Good
to see you,
talking
man.
to him about we need to get our website up and running, and
Yeah.
I'm saying that a lot of your sponsors may not really have a lot to sell. They may be sponsoring you because they believe in what you're doing,
Huh.
So
and
it
they're
doesn't-
buying sponsorship time more so to be a support of you to keep you
Right.
going than they are to
Oh.
try to sell widgets or.
And like he was
Air
saying, he's like,
conditioners
you
or whatever.
never know. A sponsor may sponsor you $10,000. Like it's perfect.
Just one off.
Well, I mean, you could find, like, if you listen to public radio,
right.
such and such made possible by,
Yeah.
and they tell a little bit about the company or give a
Yeah.
website or whatever. They're not running a full commercial.
Right.
They're running a sponsorship or an underwriting.
An
Which,
underwriting.
if you have 5 or 10 of those,
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
at a small, reasonable amount of
Hey.
piece,
Yeah.
you've got your expenses all
Show
covered.
covered.
Yeah.
You don't have-
Which what everybody else is doing except for us.
Yeah.
I
You
know,
don't
right?
have a whole lot of expenses to cover. I mean, you don't have
Right.
a big payroll. You don't
Right.
have
No.
a building to rent.
Right.
You don't have utilities to pay for what you're doing. You just have your airtime.
Because I
The
noticed a lady from 6 to 8. She's all politics, and she's sponsored by tons of people.
Yeah.
But she's got the website.
She's a
She
turn.
just found
She's-
people who believe in what
She
she's talking
is.
about.
She's
Yeah.
massive,
It's
dude.
not so much they're trying to sell something. They're trying to show their
That's
support
what we have to
Yeah.
remember.
for something that they believe in.
when people do that as donors and sponsors, is that a write-off? In a lot of ways, I would say, like if I would.
have to pass on answering that.
Oh.
Tony or someone could give you a clear answer on that. To
Okay.
me, I don't think you're a charity unless you are doing
Well,
to
we're
become an LLC and
Yeah.
a
I
501c3.
But
Yeah,
but like I was
yeah.
telling you, what I've noticed about listening to 560, especially that lady, it's all politics. Like people are really following that nowadays.
That's her specialty because
She is, dude. She's
people
legit,
look to her
dude.
for her. What's your opinion on this? Because I feel like I believe a lot like you do. So what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Help me
Yeah,
understand.
we're transitioning.
Keep
our
it
show
simple.
for sure.
yes.
Talking simple words.
Okay.
Don't go over my head.
Okay.
Don't
Right.
bore me.
Yeah.
Don't try to talk down to me. Just talk to me.
Yeah.
Just like we're having normal
Yeah,
conversation.
Just have a
Yeah.
conversation.
Caffey
Don't
tank.
get an
Caffey
attitude,
tank.
don't
Can you
get
grab
an
me a
ego.
water?
Do that. Be yourself.
Did you get that for me?
Oh, what's that?
That print
Oh,
off.
it's down in the car. I'll go grab it
Okay,
right now.
right on. Right
Yeah,
on.
I'll be right back.
I'll take your.
Oh, my phone is here. No, you can keep that. I'll be right back then. I got to go downstairs and get a form. We're already 6 minutes into this show. All right, guys. I know I wasn't really filming very good there. I got to get better with my camera skills. It's kind of weird
They have
having
no
a camera
idea.
because unless you're a cameraman, then you already know.
Yeah.
But it's because you have to.
They want to send you guys money, but they can't. I was like, dude.
It's almost like you have to let
Hey, bro.
people know that you are filming them. And if you let them know that you're filming
How
them,
much is it again?
then everything's gravy. But I can't just start putting this in people's face. Hey, how's it going? Look, I got this camera on you. So going down to 1, going up to 12. Going down to 1, going up to 12. I wonder if we'll run into Brian over here. Let's see who's out there. Anybody? Anybody? Oh, this thing is real cool. Let's pass through there for you. That's a cool transition. So, gotta go back to my car. The reason is, let's try this thing all extended out and stuff. And, oh, that doesn't work. It'll work for being in the face of everybody else. But I gotta go to my car. Whoa, whoa, geez, Heath, get a handle on that. Gotta go to my car so that I could get this contract. Oh, here's what's really cool. You'll get to see what the contract is. I think, and there's nothing damnable. So, there you go. Let's go. So, there's what it costs. $19,000 to be on the show. To be on the show. And we split that 5 ways, all 5 of us. So right now we're at about $300 a piece a month. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, about $300 a piece a month. And it's expensive, and that's why we were just talking about having sponsors. Sponsors don't necessarily need to be promoters or be promoted as though it's like a commercial. But because they might just sponsor us. Who's going to sponsor us out there? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, Burger King. Who's going to sponsor us? Oh, there is no mirror. Up to 12. We're already 9 minutes in. And we don't start for 15 more minutes. So this is how it goes, man, before we even get on the show, man. Going up to 12.
It's a way to make money.
The homies are there.
There's no other.
Where's the homies?
It's a jacked up hill, dude.
And down the hall.
Yeah. Yes, it is what it is.
It's bullcrap, bro. Is what it is. Dude, the system is
might have to go to the bathroom. Jeez.
This makes sense for our show, man, because we were
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. Well, because I'm already 10 minutes in, and I'm just gonna keep going for the 15 before we start. But
15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
15 minutes. But the great thing about the tie-in to what we were just talking with Charlie about
Yeah.
is sponsorship and it's financial, right? This is what we're talking is financial.
For
There's
sure.
is it foolish spending, like the money that we're spending to do
Did you
this
put
and
some?
stuff? I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so.
At the least, we're having fun. At the most, we're reaching people.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to your
Reaching
thing?
Oh, sorry.
This is the green room, where you get to
Guys,
hang
I'm
out.
telling you right now.
Is this okay?
If you guys, and I'll pull up her webpage, dude, I'm telling you, this lady's got so many sponsors, dude.
What's her name? She's just
Lynn,
one.
Lynn or something like that. She's from 6 to 8 every morning, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Her sponsors pay for everything. Like the dude was telling me, he's like, she's got so many sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he was like,
Just
he was
because
like,
they believe in
Ju-
what you're.
yeah, he said their company. He said she just picked up a painting company. He said she probably ain't gonna make that painting company ain't gonna make no money off of her, but they believe in her politics.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dude.
I
That's
can't
true.
believe how much
And so,
politics.
Primarily, she talks about politics, or
That's all
only.
that's all she talks about is politics.
That's it.
That's all.
So do you think? I
I
mean,
listen to her every morning. That's
you're
all
not
she talks
thinking that we need to get into like where it's just
No,
politics.
no. But you saw what we talked about last week
Mm.
is exactly what she was talking about. Her whole week was
Money.
based off of Doge and money. I couldn't believe it, dude. I'm like, Andre, anytime, have you noticed whenever we're talking like the financial system and politics, we get phone calls.
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense.
People want to hear it for some reason. I don't
Well,
know.
that's because this,
It pertains to them.
yeah, it pertains to this audience.
So
Yeah.
This
politics
is true.
pertains
Well,
to
no,
this audience?
like
this
this
audience,
is a right wing
Yeah.
Christian.
Something like that. If you look at everything
Yeah,
in their website, it kind of
yeah. So if we talk religion and politics, that's this demographic.
right.
Oh, and that's what we're going to do, dude.
Yeah.
We're getting sponsored, man.
Yeah.
And everything revolves around that.
Well,
it seems like.
talk
Is,
about
is
any
the
of our-
crazy dude going to be here?
Brian? Yeah, he's supposed to be here. The
Dude,
loon
that
bat's
count,
supposed
he
to be
is.
here, bro.
Brian's crazy.
Oh,
Oh,
don't
he's
haven't you
losing
figured
his-
it out,
He's
bro?
losing his marbles.
You got to be kidding, dude.
Dude, in
dude needs
some
some
ways,
mental.
bro, I feel like I'm losing my marbles, man.
You might
Like
be
I don't know if
second.
this is
Oh,
like
dang, what
midlife
the-
crisis type stuff or
I
something.
felt like I was losing my marbles sitting in a jail cell.
Were you there
Dude,
for a
let
minute?
me have some of that. I didn't even
Yeah,
know
I
they
was
had
there
that.
for 10 hours.
That's all.
So they held to their 10 hours. They didn't keep you longer.
No, they kept to their 10 hours. And
Hmm.
it's crazy, dude. I turn around and they,
Did you get a last app? Did you get a sack lunch?
Yeah, I threw that away quick, bro. Dude, he turned
How
around, man.
fast?
Dude, he turned around and had me bend over and spread my
Ew.
butt cheeks,
Oh.
dude. They had to look at my butthole. Dude, he had to have
This
to
is all
take
being
my...
recorded,
Yeah, dude.
bro.
Oh. I mean,
It's random. It's random. He's all, dang, you did the illustration. Yeah, okay.
It was crazy, dude.
But that's true. It's
Yeah,
true. That's how it
he had
goes.
me go
Did you have to
butt naked.
cough?
Yeah, you gotta cough.
He had the window right there, and then I had to do this with my junk. He's all looking at it, I'm lifting it up. It was crazy. I'm like, what's he looking for, dude?
Yeah.
Contraband, bro.
Contraband. Bring it in there.
guess,
Make some
dude.
money. That is
that's
ridiculous.
crazy.
I'm gonna make
And
one.
why do they come by? Why is it so, dude? You're sitting there peeing, and the officer comes by, and he's all looking at you like this.
What?
It was weird, bro.
Really?
It's
Dang.
weird, dude.
Just some Adams
Aren't you
County.
glad that you've only been? Have you been to jail before?
First time. I've actually.
I've been
never
to jail.
went jail.
I've been to jail 3 times or 2 times.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I've had to
scratch
spend
all that,
Each
dude.
time I had to spend 3 days. Both of them were like domestic violence, man. 2 different relationships.
Really? You got 2 DV charges against you?
No, there was one. There was one because I broke up with my girl. Do you remember Kimberly?
No.
So right out of high school, I had a girlfriend, Kimberly, and then when we broke up and stuff,
She hit you with the TV?
yeah, she it got kind of like loud and violent, and then there was like mediation and stuff. I'm cool. I don't want one. There was like mediation and everything, And the mediator between her and I, when we're talking about him at Jeffco, they put a restraining order on me, and I was like, hey, you don't need to restrain me. I'm not trying to get with her. I'm not trying to see her or anything like that. I just want my things back, like a camcorder and such.
Right.
And he's like, no, well, it goes both ways. Oh, I was so foolish and young at that time that I didn't understand that no, it was slapped on me and not on her. And then she lied and said that I was places that I actually was, but so I cross-examined my ex-girlfriend in court.
I remember now that I remember
Yeah.
you telling me.
So I cross-examined her. I was like, Miss Gallegos, on this day, you said that I flipped you off, or was this your mother's house? Miss Gallegos, on this day, you said that I was yelling at you, and where did that transpire? At my friend Sung's house, my friend Sung's. And then the other one was at my dad's house. And I was like, I rest my case, Your Honor. I sat down. I was everywhere I had a right to be.
For sure.
And even if she was there and she wasn't,
Right.
then even if she was there, I was in the right.
Because that's your
But-
house.
But it was tricky because all she had to do when somebody has a restraining order, all they have to do, man,
Oh, for sure.
is find out where you are,
For sure.
and then they put
That's all.
they'll put
For
a cl-
sure.
they'll say that you transgressed.
100%. Dude, look at this.
It's the manipulation through the system.
Dude, my brother turned
It's
around. and
legal
I was
abuse.
Like, I was like, you're innocent until proven guilty. He's like, bro, do you really believe that? He's like, then why are we posting bond for you? Why are you going to jail? If you're innocent, why were they able to put a warrant out for
They
your
went
arrest?
straight for the throat.
Dude, it's crazy.
It isn't innocent. It's guilty until proven innocent.
Right. It's guilty till
And
proven innocent.
It's guilty until you get an attorney that can
Right.
prove your innocence. Because you've tried to defend yourself.
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
It sucks. Whenever we defend ourselves, it doesn't bode
Yeah.
well. And it
Did
isn't
you
just
go
a.
to movie time today?
Nah, man, it's hot.
I asked about his movie ties too.
Nah, man.
Yeah, dude,
Coach
mine
is
was
out
acting
country.
like a whack job.
Dude, he's
bro.
lost it, bro. He's done lost his
Truth
mind.
in the booth is right.
I've given him a new
Just give you
nickname.
guys a little bit of background here. What happens?
Wacko in the Sacco?
Wacko.
No. Oh no, bro. I don't know,
And
dude.
our buddy Charlie.
He just done. I don't get him at all.
No, neither do I, dude. I'm telling you, he was losing his crap. Brian was losing his crap talking about how he had HIV.
He has HIV.
He's
No,
crazy.
no.
Here's one bit of advice.
Yes,
that
brother.
I think helps every programmer who buys their time, like Kim in the morning. She buys her time. Then she
Mm.
pays for it with their advertising. John, who does the car show, he buys his time.
And
the
it's all
advertisers pay back
For his
pay back for it.
advertisement.
Yes.
Sure.
They calculated how much they're spending per minute.
Okay.
And when
Really?
they saw what that number was, it made them take what they're doing
Very
much
seriously.
more seriously, much more intently. That I'm running by the minute here, basically.
Yeah.
What am I doing with my minutes?
Yeah.
Right.
And it helped them really get more concise on their content
Mhm.
and be more aware of when they're kind of wasting time. Of course, you want to have fun, you want to laugh,
Right.
you want to
Mhm.
be real,
Right.
but you can't let it evolve into poop jokes. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
what you started to kind of do last week.
Right. Right.
You know, that's not a good use. of
That
your
that's
brain.
No.
that's interesting. You're saying that we should analyze it per minute to see what our price tag
Just kind of
is
get an
to it.
idea in the back of your head. You're thinking, okay, I need to move along here.
So-
Okay.
I need to keep this going and focus.
Well, let me ask you this.
I had a
Overall, so
question,
this is our going on to our 5th month. You've seen this done hundreds and hundreds of times. We have a good show. What do we need to improve on?
I think it's less is more with you. Having
Okay.
6 people in here is too many. From my
Okay.
point of view, it's too many different voices. I
Okay.
can see you. At home, they're just hearing voices. They don't know what's going on. People talking about bumping
Okay.
each other. 3 people talking at once. It's a little hard to follow
Okay.
for your outsider
Okay.
who stumbles onto you. Because
Okay.
What is this? But if you're sharing conversations and going back and forth at least twice an hour, you introduce yourself at
Okay.
the beginning and at the middle.
Okay. Do that
Right.
also.
Introduce yourself.
And another thing, have we started to adapt to letting the other person talk more and
Yes.
not interrupting?
Yes.
And that's the way we
Well,
should go,
yes.
right? Let Heath finish his saying, then Andre takes
And
up.
I would
and-
almost say,
Okay.
if somebody's going to talk, say, Andre, what were you gonna say about that? Throw some names in there as you're going to people.
That's
Okay.
a good
Throw a few
idea.
names in. Just first names. Keep your privacy. People don't need to know your
Right.
last name.
Sure.
That doesn't matter. Don't want them weirdos.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a really
True.
good idea.
That's
Just throw
good.
the name in there so that you can start to identify name and voice.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
one more question, because we've had an issue with this. How do we end a call timing?
For sure.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, thank you for your call. Hey, Joe, that was a good point. We're going to move on, but thank you.
Okay.
Back,
Okay.
and don't just stop talking to them and ignore them. Because I'm sitting there thinking, are you done? Are you
Okay.
done talking to them? Should I hang up?
Okay.
Mm,
Ah,
Because people on the phone, they want to know if they're done too.
yeah.
Okay.
The time
that
is up
makes
to say
sense.
thank you. That was a great call, or we appreciate that. A call again. All those are cues to the person to say goodbye
Perfect.
without having to say goodbye.
Okay.
we're thanking them.
You just
Okay.
conclude the conversation with them, thank and acknowledge them in some way,
Yeah.
and then you move on. Oh, I gotta,
Thank you.
I gotta do my job.
All right.
Oh, I just ended our conversation. Thank you.
We got some good information.
Oh
Right
yeah,
there.
you got some good information.
I never thought about associating our time. You know what I'm saying?
Minutes.
Per minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do the math for us, bro. What is it? 1,500 a month divided by
Well, it's now
Well,
16,
5 minutes.
1683 a month.
1683 divided by how many months? Is it 4 months?
For
Divided by 12 months because we're in it for 12.
what if you just did that 1 month? Wait,
Okay.
1683. Oh, never mind. I see what you guys are doing.
Are you dividing by 4 or 5
Uh,
weeks?
12,
4 or
right?
5 shows.
Well, let's see. Okay, so this month,
Do the 19.
Yeah, there you go.
19
This
divided
one
by
would be-
12.
for sure.
What is it?
Well, by 52 because we have 52
Do,
programs.
do 19 divided by 52, and then you'll get your number
Right.
per program, and then divide that by 60. Right?
Yeah,
60
exactly.
minutes.
52. So 383.
Dude, I bet we're like $100 a minute or something.
$6.38 a minute.
Oh, so when you let somebody talk for 5 minutes, man,
Maybe.
That's $6
615
for sure.
Yeah.
40 bucks.
We
something.
never looked at it like that.
Mm-mm.
No,
Okay,
that's
so now
brilliant.
this changes everything when we get sponsors.
So just us guys.
Big time. I'd be.
Well, where's Brian?
Or Reno. Or is Reno out of town
Reno's
again?
still out of town.
Okay.
I hadn't talked to him this week, but remember he told us last week?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take a leak.
Oh, you didn't go?
No.
Where'd you supposed to go? I went to a graduation party.
Oh, how was your guys' graduation? Did you get crazy?
No, dude. It was just like immediate family, and Tyler was there.
Didn't have to kick anybody out?
No, I'm trying to see where Brian's at, dude. Dude, he was
I
freaking
lost
out
my
on us,
mind,
dude.
bro.
Who? Brian?
Right,
did
yes.
you see him last week?
He
Oh,
thought he was HIV positive.
Oh, dude, he lost his crap.
Yeah.
Bro.
So then I went to talk to him. 2 years ago, I got an STD test. I was like, wait a minute, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago I got a STD, but I never got HIV test.
See, no. Here's the thing. If it's been 2 years, that's full blown AIDS now.
Right? I just could not believe that.
Dude,
But he started
lost
freaking
his
out. Like
crap,
he
bro.
made it sound like it was today that he got, or this week that he got tested.
He's only had relations with one more. Oh, there he is.
Mm-mm.
Hey, what's up, buddy? You know what? Oh,
What up? What up?
What up?
no, Reno.
Was he
Yeah.
calling?
Yeah,
Were you just
why
calling?
were you calling when you were walking in?
Oh my
I
goodness,
did.
bro. I don't know who is that
Yeah,
on
no,
the
that
phone.
was Brian. That was you. You just called as you were walking in. You
Ooh,
called
Jackie
into the
Chan.
radio
I like Jackie
No,
Chan.
my phone. Oh,
Don't forget to kiss and suck on your mic.
I want to learn Miyagi karate.
where's my earphone?
Karate Kid, boy.
Do you hear it? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I
Karate
like.
Kid Legends. All right.
I like. You want a water? Bro?
Jackie.
Oh, thanks. Heinz.
Yeah, bro.
Man, that got me all twisted up, bro.
What?
Hey,
Yeah, you were, bro.
The HIV scare?
Dang, dude.
Oh, bro, this
You
chick
done
got a
tripped
yeast
me.
infection.
Ew, what chick, bro?
What?
What chick?
Ooh. Along, I thought I had a yeast infection.
Oh,
You
I
sure
thought
you
you said
sure-
a chick got one.
You sure
Yeah,
you guys
you
weren't
did
just
say
baking
that.
So
bread?
I thought,
Dude, you got to be if your truth's in the booth, say it.
Spread
Don't be
it.
lying. Spread it. Spread the yeast.
so I
Spread
got
it.
checked for disease a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
But so then when I had
I got a terrible thing, man. Like
It's
I would never get tested myself. I would just get with a woman and I'd hang out with her and I'd be her friend for a long time and she'd go and get checked. So if she had something,
Hey
I had
guys,
something.
make sure y'all's phones are off.
Not
or down.
mine. Mine's
Because mine, it went off last week. So I'm
Oh,
checking
ring-a-ling-a-ling.
this,
yeah, you gotta be careful,
I
Brian.
don't know why
Are
we're
you
doing
are you
the
out
same
there with a
thing,
bunch of
bro.
women right now?
bunch of hoes.
No.
You just got one woman.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, man. So
So I had discharge.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
yeasty.
Yeah,
He's
so I
yeasty
thought-
boy.
I didn't know
Yeasty boy. He's
discharge.
one of the yeasty
Yeasty
boys.
boy.
I didn't know discharge could come out of your wiener, bro.
Oh my
So I got
god,
tested
dude.
for. I got tested for.
Sorry, Charlie.
I got tested for diseases.
Oh,
This dude has
man.
never heard anybody
I
like
never-
us. He was like,
Hold on,
these
man.
dudes
All
are-
right,
But I
finish
got
it.
tested.
We got one
Yeasty
minute.
boy.
I got tested for diseases a while ago.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
years
dang, my
ago.
throat's itching.
But the only test I didn't get was the HIV. So when I put the two together, I'm like, dude, I'm
You thought you
Oh,
thought
bro, I thought I had HIV.
Dude, he
you.
seriously
You're too
thought.
fat for HIV.
Yes, that's the truth. He is, bro.
Nah.
Dude, are you gonna roll with your shades on in the show the whole day?
Yeah.
Dude, we should all get shades, dude. I don't got
I
none.
got shades on.
That
Well,
would be
not
legit.
shades.
Hey, did you call him about your job?
Yeah,
What did they say?
Alright,
I got the job.
so we rolling with the shades.
Congrats.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on, bro.
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
one day in jail.
Dude, I turned
Yeah.
around and fought that in
So
court.
you start Monday.
Dude,
Monday or
that's me,
Tuesday.
bro. My blood pressure was like 200 and something.
Man, what?
Ah,
Yours
Man,
was
like,
so was
listen to
mine.
this.
how
Dude,
do you
that's,
guys got blood pressure that high?
Dude, mine was
Yeah.
200 the other day, and I felt dizzy and sick.
yeah,
At
that's,
my
a,
house,
that's an
bro.
emergency.
Hey, here we go.
You guys gotta be careful.
That's an emergency, bro.
Where do you take it for?
Like, took Viagra. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding. I didn't take Viagra.
This is gonna be
Yeah.
Brian and Heath and
Dude, it's going to be
Andre's show, bro.
They-
You're out.
the yeasty boy in the
The
house.
Yeasty Boys.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, you want
Yeasty
it?
Boys?
bro.
Heck yeah,
No,
bro.
No, bro.
It's like about his yeasty
Here we
infection.
go.
Today on the show?
See we? Nah.
We gotta talk.
Yeah, I know. We got our top. I'll have to do that again. Dude, I sound like a kid on there.
About to hit them high pitches right now. Sounds like a
It's
Muppet.
catchy.
Sounds like a Muppet.
No, it sounds like. Oh, remember that one?
Soul Glow?
No.
Where is
dude.
Reno?
What's the one? The
He's at
two.
work.
Remember they were on cable. They were cable. Wayne's World.
Oh.
I, mean, I
If
feel like
Andre- if Reno's not gonna show up, we need to bring a special guest, man.
the
Well, what's
Yeasty
your
Boy. Should we
boy-
bring
no,
the
no,
Yeasty Boy?
Hold on.
He says we're
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Or whatever. I forgot they did it.
Hey, this is your
Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo.
Don't you remember it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Who was
Charlie. All our conversations stay between us, bud.
Your
Why
yeast.
is he
He has yeast infection.
a Yeasty Boy?
You're discharged.
Hey, bro, scoot over. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
Thanks, brother, for that. Thanks for that. Understand.
Set to Donald. You need to do the Donald Trump. How does Donald Trump do it?
Something
How
like
does he? He does. I forgot how he does it.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is KOZ 560. You can always reach the guys at 303-477-5600. Again, this is KOZ 560, and you can reach the guys at 477-5600. For everybody out there listening to us right now, I'm the only one without shades in the studio. There must be something going on. I didn't get the memo, guys. So let's go
Yeah,
around the
Your
room.
future ain't looking too bright.
Tell people who y'all are. And let's get started.
Well, to all my fans out there, of course, there just might be a few, but I am the truth. In the booth.
Good job.
I can't even follow that, man. All I think is Yeasty Boy. Yeasty Boy in the house. This is Andre here. Next.
I'm Brock.
Yeasty
And
Boy.
over here, it's Heath Hine, the actor in Denver, Colorado.
But
Yeah.
I've got to be quite honest. I'm a little bit tired of being the truth.
Okay.
Because I mean,
well,
my coworkers, I give them the truth all the time, right? I give them words of wisdom, truth.
Yeah.
No one wants to listen to it.
well,
I mean,
before
what am I gonna do?
It's unsolicited, that's why. Nobody wants
That,
it.
no, that's true.
before we get into everything today, our topic, we're going back again with. It turned out to be such a good show last week. We're going back with money, wasteful spending, Doge, and so to start it off, guys, tell us why is money so powerful?
I'm gonna follow after like Myron Golden, man. He says it's spiritual. Money is actually spiritual, bro.
Can you elaborate?
You'd have to watch some of his videos to understand that. But that there was, we'll go back to like the beginning of Genesis and stuff, where Adam and Eve were in the garden, and why would God speak about there being abundance and opulence and gold in them our hills, and it's good, and the gold is good,
Oh, gold's good.
gold
Are
standard.
you thinking Jethro and Black Gold and Texas Tea?
Right?
Wait a
And
minute.
the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
I mean, if
No.
money wasn't important, then you wouldn't have so many, marriages fall apart. I mean, think about
well-
that. If you were to think about the top 3 reasons people get divorced, money's gotta be in the top.
Money's in the
3.
top.
So just think
Yeah.
about this: if you lend someone some
Right.
money and they have not paid you for like 1 whole month, 2 whole months, 3 whole months, yet they have a new phone, a new laptop.
Because
Most of us have been there.
well, borrower is slave to the lender, man.
Right.
And so when you've lent money to somebody, then you're kind of clocking them.
Exactly.
You're watching everything they do.
Where's my money?
Yeah.
And it's kind of
and
funny
so-
if you ask a friend who you know has money and you ask him to borrow some money. I mean, people change, bro.
They
Their
do.
attitudes
So
change.
then tell me that's not spiritual.
Oh, of course.
And for everybody out there listening to us, again, we're the guy's perspective, and we're talking about wasteful spending, Doge, money. It's always a hot topic. Again, you can reach us at 303-477-5600. So basically what I'm understanding is money's got a voice. If you owe somebody money,
Whew.
it's
Tell-
speaking loud.
Hey, money's also the truth, isn't it? Can't you lead money? You can follow money to any truthful conclusion. Like,
you can.
like if I've been spending money, philandering, or what, I don't know what the term is, but if I've been spending it on hookers and cocaine, man, you're going to be able to trace that and track that.
You will.
I might not tell the truth, but the money's going to tell the truth.
The money's going to
The
tell the truth.
receipts, always.
Money always tells the truth. It's when you look at the big picture of
It's just
things
numbers.
of Elon Musk finding money and people are talking about the deficit. Like I really dove into this, and I started really researching about America and their deficit and why they owe so much money. Did you know that the power of the purse is given to Congress?
Right.
They
Power of the
basically
purse.
dictate where that money goes. It's almost like they can override the president when he's saying, okay, I want to stop allocating this money to illegal aliens. Congress can step in and say, no, we control this. We're going to allocate the money.
Right.
There's the judicial branch just isn't the president.
It's supposed to be checks and balances.
Supposed
right?
to be.
Yeah, but now you have these rogue judges stepping in and essentially taking the authority of an elected official. And think about it, judges aren't elected. Judges are put into that place as a magistrate. Then from magistrate, they go to a judge, et cetera, or they start off as a lawyer. We're talking about the elected official, the United States president, which is supposed to be the supreme commander, which is also supposed to be the chief, law enforcement officer. And yet judges are stripping powers away, or at least there's an attempt to strip those powers away from accomplishments that Doge has done. Doge was not hired directly by the president. It was an executive action. But with that said, his time's up. And people, the amazing thing is, where are the Republicans that will stand up and actually approve those laws?
Well, because okay,
So
Brian?
that makes me wonder when I'm voting for a president, if he has to go before the Congress to get anything overruled, well, who's really making the decisions here?
That's the reason when the new president gets elected, he starts firing people. He wants
Right.
the cabinet. He wants so that they can
They'll
take
pass
his
his
side.
laws.
But that was Trump's first mistake. And Trump won. He never fired. I get it. He wanted to make sure that, he has an even distribution of both
That's right.
Republican and Democrats, but that was his biggest mistake. And unfortunately, being an outsider coming into Washington, that shot him in the foot hard time. It did
Wow.
not work.
Huh.
So now he's doing what every other president, both Republican and Democrat, have
But
done,
don't you think it all
and
changed?
replacing them.
But that kind of all changed when John F. Kennedy got assassinated.
Well, how did that change? For
Because
us?
he was in rule. Like he was like the last president that actually had full control of presidency, I believe.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah. for
No,
sure.
that's why
Oh,
he was
for sure.
eliminated. Really?
Yeah, that's
You really
but
think
now
that?
they put in more. Yeah, so now they're putting in more stipulations for laws to get passed and so forth.
So the legislative branch, its roles include is drafting proposed laws, confirming and rejecting presidential nominations for heads of federal agencies, federal judges, and Supreme Courts, having the authority to declare war. That's what the legislative branch does. When you go to the executive branch, which is the president is the head of state, vice president supports the president, the cabinet members are advisors to the president. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then when you go to the judicial branch, it's interpreting and the meaning of laws, applying laws to individual cases, and declaring if laws are violated or constituted. I guess when I read that, and like Andre said, there's checks and balances. You would think the
Supposed to be.
president would oversee all that. I get he can veto whatever Congress is doing, but why doesn't he get final say so? He's the ultimate judge, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we don't want a dictator, which we kind of who's running the last 3 years? I don't know, but they were the dictator in chief, whoever it was.
So you think the
You know,
last
so-
administration was more of a dictatorship versus
Yeah, look how many times, how much lawfare was, openly and blatantly, they blatantly attack the Republicans. And there's a lot of Republicans. I'm not saying Republicans are the solution to the problem. They just aren't. But with that said, they actually are one of the last, bastions of freedom, if you will, because they've actually turned into speaking for the common man. They spoke basically out for the people that are overtaxed, that want less government, which is kind of funny because you want less government, right?
Oh yeah,
Keith,
yeah.
you
I want
know,
less government.
And that's like Bernie Sanders is what you're saying. So you come off of a liberal standpoint, but a conservative standpoint, not the rhinos, but a conservative standpoint is very similar too. Because we don't want the government having to change our diapers, having to tell us, you need to do this rule or this application, whether you liked it or not. I want to be able to vote for it. Let me
Right.
vote for it as a citizen.
Here's one of the things, though, is that I do think that I might have this twisted, and it's quite possible I do. But many of us buy into the socialistic aspect because of all the social things that we have.
I don't
Police department, fire department, roads, social security.
now.
That's funny you mentioned that.
How many other
because
things? WIC and food stamps and all of these things that we all like ascribe to as a better United States. These are all like funded again by the middle class.
Well, let
they
me
really
ask
are.
you this: do you think Social Security and Medicaid? Do you
It's
think
in
that's
the
all
name,
wasteful?
social,
But I mean, do you think that's all wasteful spending?
not wasteful
I
spending.
mean, because we
no,
spend,
we need to care for 'em.
Well, with
Yeah.
Medicaid and Social Security and stuff like that, 50% of all our money in America is going towards that stuff.
Mm.
I mean, don't you think that there should be some kind of ratification to it?
No,
So
the
the-
Social Security you're putting into that through your taxes every
Then-
check.
So how come
You're
it's always
paying
on the
into it.
chopping block? So check this out.
It's always a
One-
grab
yeah,
bag.
I
It's
understand.
always a
No,
grab
no, no.
bag.
One thing
he's
that
telling
was-
the truth.
One thing that was never supposed to happen is not one person was supposed to borrow out of Social Security.
Correct.
However, that's obviously been abused.
Yeah.
Misallocated funds, etc. To I can appreciate what Doge did. Doge opened
Was
up
that
what
found-
a lot of us felt was happening.
That was
which is
found in Doge.
yeah, there's
Doge
so
found
much
us.
misdirected funds
Yeah.
that we had to finally there was a billionaire that stepped up and said, at the cost of his own businesses, stepped up and said, you know what, I'm going to expose this
And
under
that's
another
impressive.
billionaire
Yeah,
that
that's really
at the cost
good,
of his own businesses
Yeah.
was willing to say, yeah, there's some deep corruption. And it didn't start in the last administration. It started under, let's just be real, Bush,
Reagan.
Obama, maybe Reagan. I don't know. I was a child.
Reaganomics.
So
Well, but
Yeah.
see, it didn't matter at that time when you were a child. Go ahead, Brock.
Guys, when it comes to government, the GAO, which is the Government Accountability Office, they say the federal government loses between 233 billion to 521 annually to fraud, and that covers Medicare. They're saying there's a whole lot of fraud going on in Medicare.
Because people know how to get
Insurance.
around the system.
But
Well-
how do they know how to get around the system? Is that because they're illegal and we're just giving it to them?
No, maybe
Where the
because
American
you were
citizens
in a
suffering?
No, because maybe you were in that kind of situation where you needed to use those benefits,
But
and
didn't
then
have the
you could
means.
Yeah, you didn't have the means. Maybe got a better job. Maybe working side jobs, making a lot more money, but yet they don't want to spend their money, so they're using the system to pay to help them.
What about this? It also says
Yeah.
earned income tax credit is $15.9 billion went out. Where did it go? It surely didn't go to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? There's a lot
Well,
of wasteful spending. There's money that is being
Brock.
just shipped everywhere.
Brock,
Yeah.
like you were talking about the deficit, a friend of mine, Corey, you guys remember him? He was here. We were talking, and he said he dug deep into that. And one of the leading things was China-owned property here.
farmland and whatnot.
Yeah. So what was it? How many trillion? Like 1.8 trillion deficit.
No.
So-
Actually, we were wrong about that. Guys,
I think it was
look,
greater
have you
than
guys ever
3.8
heard of
billion.
this? Have you guys ever heard of this
Billion.
before? It's called the U.S. debt clock. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been studying about this.
What
I
is
never
the
got into
debt
the U.S.
clock?
Pull
Oh
it
my
up on your
God.
phone. Look at
I'm
the
gonna
U.S.
Look, no, I ain't gonna look at that.
This is the craziest thing I've seen. It's a clock of our debt for people that are listening to us. If you know more about this than we do, and if you
Please.
think we're just whistling Dixie in the air, give us a call at 303-477-5600. But I'm telling you guys, I looked up this clock. All the research kept just leading me deeper and deeper into a rabbit hole. And I came across this U.S. debt clock, and it's clocking how much debt we have.
Yeah.
And it's at like 36 trillion, and the numbers are just running.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's unreal.
it's a debt that your grandchildren and great grandchildren
Will inherit.
Yeah, so that rightly so should we have someone step in and basically say enough is enough. The thing that really trips me out are people that
But
buck against them and basically demonize the people that it's like basically a cop arresting a felon or whatever for aggravated assault and getting mad at the cop for interfering and saying, you know what,
For
we're going to
doing it.
stop this assault right now. We're going to arrest that person and put him away. It's amazing how many people, at least on the news, if you believe all the news is, how much division there supposedly is.
Yeah.
What
Brock,
are these
Brock,
numbers you're
Brock,
seeing?
Brock shouldn't have shown me this debt clock, man. Like this national debt clock is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. If this is a real debt clock to
Yeah.
America, and I got it off our America websites too, like
Yeah.
Yes.
if this is really the truth,
Yeah.
then
Oh, that's
you
crazy.
You can't rack numbers up like that
Yeah.
unless you're playing like
so
pinball.
it brings up
That's insane, actually.
right. It brings up the next point. If we have that much debt, how did we get into debt like that?
You
Right?
really
talking
want to know the
decades.
truth?
All right,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
hear the truth.
Let's
Well,
hear
you
it.
should have asked the truth
Okay, we're
in the
listening.
booth. We're the truth.
Would you just answer the question?
I mean, isn't everybody in debt?
But does that make it right?
That's
Is
what.
that a good answer?
Well-
No, it's not.
No, I'll side with B on that, man, because how it's the pot calling the kettle black.
Right?
You know, I mean,
Okay,
we can't be mad at the government if we don't have our finances straight.
No,
Right?
that's true.
Right?
I get a little bit of that.
But
Yeah, I
if
can see
you
what you're
work,
saying.
but if you're working on your finances and you're trying to get out of debt, that's different than just doing foolish
But-
things with your money.
Well, but tell me, Brock, do you think you have more power over your own finances or the government's finances?
Well, obviously your own,
Your
but-
own.
So then
The
that's
sa-
where it starts at home.
But the saddest part is this: is how come we can be audited, but
Mhm.
when it comes to auditing the government,
Hey man,
I'm
he's
just
asking
saying.
a real question. That's in my notes.
How come we?
I mean, I haven't. Thank God.
I mean,
I
hey,
love the IRS.
It's like
I'm sorry.
gambling, man. It's the house. You can't win.
I mean,
The government.
it's just the system is so flawed and broken
Yeah.
that they're just running up trillions of dollars, and everybody's paying taxes,
To
and,
no
and
end.
we're not seeing it go to what it's supposed to go to.
What are these so-called absolutes like death and taxes?
Death
Isn't
and
it?
taxes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
You
ridiculous.
can't. Yeah, you can't escape them.
So
Be Rizzo, you're a little quiet there.
Well, I was just thinking. I had a question earlier. It's kind of away from what we're talking about right now. Okay, but I just don't understand why there is such divide between Democrats and Republicans, and it's been going on since Abraham Lincoln days.
So
I mean, why is there such divide? It amazes me, bro.
Yeah.
I think the reason why there's such divide is because and for anybody, again, we're a guy's perspective, we talk about everything. I know lately we've been talking politics and money and things like that. But to answer Brian's question, I think the reason why it's divided is because when a person votes, they vote off of their belief system, and not everybody believes the same. Andre?
So I don't believe that the new Democrat Party is not the party of the old Democrat Party, like JFK, etc. My grandfather. I don't that that was proven in this last election where a lot of Democrats, Black, Hispanic, etc., basically turned around and said, you know what, all we get is promises of this, but we never get that. And that's the truth. Nothing has changed. Every time a politician promises something, what's the old saying? You can tell a politician, when you can tell a politician is lying.
When their mouth is moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you think?
That's true.
So do you think it's evolved to
Yeah, but
benefit society and the people and what they've allowed to continue, or what they've allowed to allow in society that was dimmed back in the day? So if something was deemed back in the day where it was not allowed, but it's grown into where society's allowed it to be allowed, do you think politicians
Give an
begin
example.
to like maybe back in the day it wasn't allowed to be, transsexual, right? Back in the day,
Okay.
you couldn't, it was deemed no good for that.
Yeasty
Right,
boy.
But nowadays,
Had to
it's
be
grown to people have
hidden.
accepted that, right? So for a politician to accept it now, he allows that.
well,
So
okay.
he can get the votes from the people. So that's why the Democratic Party has changed and evolved.
Well, let's clarify that statement. So, how much of America is swayed by the trans movement? I would venture to say that less than a third of the United States of America is for them. One is because, I hate to say it, but your religion, keep it to yourself. Your
Yes.
sexuality, keep it to
Yes,
yourself.
Yes.
Don't bring it into my law and in my living room. That's where I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. That's where I'm an independent. I lean
good.
toward, conservative principles, which means less government, and I want to do my own thing. I want to be happy. I'll pay my
But-
taxes when I need to pay taxes, but I don't want them spent on stupid stuff like over in El Salvador. I don't want them sending transgender ideology to supposedly teach, because we know they aren't teaching. It just got funneled back through money laundering, in my opinion.
Go ahead.
I
Brian.
also think that that's amazing you're talking about this subject, because it all ties into money and the thought process behind money. I think a lot of schools that teach that and say, hey, you know what, let's keep that a secret. Don't worry about what your parents think about it. I think they're receiving money from some outside source. I could
The
be
teachers'
wrong.
unions. I mean, when I worked
I
for
could be 100% wrong, but I think when a school has a set curriculum, they're giving that based off of whoever is financing that school.
it's also a lot of the unions. When I used to work for that quasi municipal, government funded and privately funded organization, you had to be part of this union that, represented state, local, and federal. And it wasn't even a choice. It was like, if you're going to work here, you're going to become part of this union. And every season, every political season, whether it was locally or whether it was federally, we were told, hey, we want to vote for this person. And there would be no rhyme or reason why, but it was predominantly those that were liberalistic or socialistic, really. Getting back to what Heath said, social mindset. Well, the problem with the socialism is that when you have too many people that the government's top heavy, you're following history, where basically the Soviet Union was very top heavy in its government. And they started basically telling the farmer, okay, eliminate all your crops, eliminate all your things like that. And they became more powerful, but the governed became the weak. That's why, again, I'm more conservative based.
Well, let me say this, and I'll go right here to you, Heath.
Yeah.
But when it comes to money, do you think with cryptocurrency and everything, do you think the way we view money today is going to be changed in the next 20 years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to go from the
Absolutely.
fiat to the crypto,
Mm-hmm.
most likely, because that's more world governed.
It is. And think about it. You were describing essentially that there's a paper trail. There really isn't with cash. You can get away with so much. Cash is king in any type of business, especially
No
drugs. Yeah, drug trafficking, etc.
Yeah.
Right?
Cash is key.
It really is. But
Oh,
once you
yeah.
get into this cryptocurrency, now you have the ability to measure and shut down people, like we pretty much have done with Russia with sanctions, or other countries we've sanctioned. We basically said, you don't want to abide by our principle, let's go ahead and sanction you a little bit. Let's sanction the people that work with you. Shutting down the ability of them to, utilize commerce.
So one of the things I wanted to touch back on, because Andre, you had said concerning like religion and faith and stuff like that, you don't want that to be involved in politics, right? Like that's people can have that at their own home and stuff.
Yeah.
But doesn't that contradict what most conservatives would want, which is like God back in school?
Oh, for sure.
And
Well-
so if we're talking God back in school, then you have to give it to the people who are in a movement of either BLM or trans movement.
That's
or
the
anything
problem
like
that I have.
No, and here's the reason. You have to give it to them because they've utilized the very same thing that was
Exactly.
weaponized against them
Mm.
by putting Christianity
Mm.
in the face of all of them from a very
that's-
young age.
And you've basically stated the reason why I am the way I am. Yeah, I don't believe we should have religion inside schools. Unfortunately, that's an argument that's long gone.
Yeah.
Back in my early days, if I was, you're talking about decades, even 100 years. Yeah. Having church inside schools was amazing.
It was
Why?
it was the
because
determining factor of like somebody you could go to and trust with your kids.
Yeah,
and
but the
stuff.
unfortunate thing is it's been perverted. That's
It's
the
been perverted,
reason why.
yes.
It
Guys,
all
I
goes down
definitely
to
think
that.
prayer should be back in school.
Right.
Right? I do. Like,
Then
but
you're
I'll
going to
tell-
have to accept every prayer then.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I may accept.
Oh.
Hold on. I can accept every prayer,
Satanism,
but I can hold on. But
Muslim.
I cannot
Jewish.
accept people teaching other children it's okay to have a sex change. If you are
Right.
born a boy,
But
you're
that's-
a boy. God knew what He was doing.
Well,
And I don't care what school teacher, school board, or mom or dad says. That's my belief. I'm Republican to the T,
but the point,
and that's how I
but the
believe.
point, the only point I'm making is that you can't fault them for having weaponized it.
No, I
when-
agree with what you're saying.
when the people who weaponized first were people of faith, so-called.
Well, give an example
yeah.
of the weaponization instead of just saying that.
The
For example,
what was it? The
the
Crusades. Jeez,
oh, dude,
that's
Crusades was
weaponizing.
deep.
it
That's
was,
weaponizing.
yeah.
It was.
But you could go all the way back.
I wrote
to
a whole paper on
you
that.
could-
It was deep.
Yeah, so Crusades, and then Catholicism, and then
we-
you could go all the way back.
Okay,
You could go
now,
all the way back to God's chosen people who had to go in and ransack places, man.
so real quick, because I know we're coming up on a break. The Crusades. You tell me one thing. In Mexico, we would have still been having all these traditions of sacrificing, playing these games until that team died or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Aztec religions, etc., Mayan religion.
Yeah.
So
that-
so in an odd way, okay, the Crusades came. The conquistadors that conquered that land, but they brought a form of Christianity Where today they probably would have still been sacrificing, virgins and all these other things.
Right.
So there, I
But
mean,
see, then,
is that a good argument? I'd say not.
well, yeah, because it led to them having the free thought to come across the border.
Oh, this is good, man. This is.
I'm just
No,
Give us a
you
call,
wanted
guys.
to jump
I'm
in.
just-
No, man, that's
us a
that's
call.
opening up a whole new can of worms right there.
I'm sorry.
Oh my
Mexican
goodness!
fellow
No.
friends.
Yeah, what you're saying is this is good stuff right here. So for everybody who's listening to us, we're going on to part 2 of this. We're 303-477-5600, and we're just going to let people know that we're talking about wasteful spending and Doge and currency and
Please call in. I mean, you
Yeah.
can tell your mom and your wife you talked to the truth today.
give us a go. Oh my God! You
Funny,
guys are taking
man.
this down to a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, we went way off
We went,
base.
Who
took us off base? Who
Bro.
took us off base? Brian?
Brian did when he started talking about the transgenderism. I was trying to
He
bring
zipped.
it back
No,
with
no,
school.
No,
no,
you
no,
brought
finances.
religion. No, it was more you.
Oh, I
Religion,
didn't.
money being a religion, right? Or
I
no?
said spirituality. I said
didn't-
money is
you guys asked
spiritual.
me. He asked me for when I told you that when the word deemed wrong, he's
See,
like,
that's
well, give me a.
freaking on there, bro.
When I told him
Dude,
that
that was
something.
wrong. I wanted to interject when you turned around and said, "Oh, so that means the border can be open." I was going to dive in, bro. I was like, "This is really going somewhere now."
Well, because
bro.
if they're God's
So
people,
are we-
because the conquistadors and we've all Christianized them, and everybody's like, following Jesus, and yeah, open the borders. We're all one family.
I didn't mean to change it,
Dude,
but
I'm
when he
like
asked me
swimming.
for a scenario of something that
That
was
was
deemed wrong
so
back in the
much
day,
shit,
that's all I
bro.
could think of.
We write
Like
things change.
gays,
So are we getting back to
stuff like
Doge?
that, bro.
Yeah.
So we have to circle back to Doge again.
Oh man.
Oh man, I don't know what to say.
That was getting
That shit.
deep, you guys. Everybody listening was like, "How in the world did they get to this part?" Like,
That's what I'm wondering.
How did they end up way
Maybe
down,
we
like-
should say
But
that.
is
Like,
that bad for
how
us
did
that
we
we're
end up?
transitioning so far off?
Yeah,
Maybe we
need
need
to stay
to-
on some kind of topic.
Yeah.
We were way off right
Yeah.
there, dude. I don't
Yeah.
even know how
But
we
ask
got
ask
there,
the
dude.
listeners. I say, hey, listeners, sorry, went off. Whatever.
Yeah, we went off the
Yeah.
rails.
Yes,
Yeah.
you two did, bro. I was trying to bring
You
it back.
two?
Like, I was
We
like,
did?
schools.
Yeah, we did
I
actually.
was like, schools are trying to pay people. I thought I was trying to bring us back, and you two went all the way to Conquistador and all, bro.
Let's just stay on what he got,
my
man.
goodness, I don't. We should look.
What,
at
with the-
let-
with the-
Stay about the
listeners.
border being
You
open.
listeners,
But
you need to.
tell me,
That was good discussion, though, dude.
Yeah, it was.
You listeners need to chime in. Let us know.
but to the certainly to the people who, okay, so God had His chosen people, elect people, that He would have go and like have war against the others, right? Like
Right.
Jericho fit the, or
Yeah, it did.
Joshua fit the battle of Jericho.
Yeah.
I don't think them Jerichoans liked it one bit. You know?
Yeah, but then you got to look back. What did the people in Jericho do?
But see, so this is what it comes
So-
down to: is everybody thinks
I think-
they're right.
Well, if you're sacrificing children and virgins,
Chemosh and all of that stuff.
yeah, then
Right.
you might not be doing right if you're killing people. Then
Right.
again,
But
you
then,
know,
but then,
but the
but then,
Mohammedans-
what about the? So bring it all the way fast forward to like transgender. What about the Christian mother and father that had their child go astray to be transgender? Do they want their child then to be strung up
right?
by Christians? I don't think so.
Well,
man.
Christians aren't doing that. It's usually Muslims.
How's everybody doing again this afternoon? This is the second part of our show. We're the guy's perspective, and you can reach us at 303-477-5600. We're in a heated discussion before the break, and we're going to get back on track, and we're talking about wasteful spending, money, and Doge. So let me ask you guys this. If money, because listen, people, the Bible never turned around and said money's the root to all evil.
The
It says
love
the love of money.
Of money is the root of
But here I want to ask you guys this question, and we're coming full circle to this. We talk about everything. We talk about Bible. We talk politics. We talk relationships. We talk everything. So it says this in Revelation 13:17, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is the name of the beast, or the number of its name. Why are they using currency in that scripture? Why is it saying that if you don't take
Well, because-
that? your money's useless. You ain't even gonna have any.
Oh, if you don't take the mark of the
Right.
beast that you cannot buy or sell.
Right.
Well, you know me, man. I mean, I was Seventh Day Adventist for a minute, and what was taught through that was that the day that was sought to be changed, he seeks to change times and laws, and so we changed it from the Sabbath, which is following like Jewish, would be Friday night to Saturday night. That's the actual Sabbath. That's the actual seventh day, versus Sunday, which would be the first sun worship, solstice, all that stuff. So that would be the first. So then when there was a change of times and laws and Sunday, then some, at least what the Seventh Day Adventists said, and I know I'm long-winded in this, what they said is that with that change, that has changed. The like you can no longer buy or sell on that day because they made it their own religion.
So that's
the
what
hand could never buy or sell. So it was the mark of the beast that's on the forehead, in the head, in the mind, and in the hand. You could do no commerce.
So you don't believe it has anything to do with money, though, except for that day, Andre?
All right, I gotta ask something.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're going way off. We started on one subject. Now we've hit number 2, subject number 3.
Oh, I'm about to bring it home with money.
Okay, well, bring it home with Doge, or what do we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this is my thought process. If money is the most powerful thing, like I asked you guys,
Money answers all things.
if
This
it's
is biblical.
let's be real, currently, right now, in 2025, money is one of the most powerful things on the planet, and Doge is exposing it, and our deficit is so high. Does that all tie into the Bible?
I think so. Okay, I see what you're doing there.
You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're doing there. You know, and I think you're right, because I think if we can collapse, or the new world, a new world can collapse an economy and basically make it. And I believe that's what was the goal, is to collapse the economy so it becomes a one world currency. I see what you're doing right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Think Trump's doing it, or do you think they have to get rid of him to be able to move that, or is he part of the plan? I mean,
we're back on track now, boys.
because Doge to me sounds like he
because
exposed the hypocrisy and the corruption.
But
It's up to us as the citizens to stand up and say enough is enough. But yet we have the media, which is controlling possibly the masses, basically saying, you know what, you need to fight against Trump. You need to fight against Doge. You need to fight against Elon. Well, why? They're showing us what everybody's known, is that they're wasting our money to oblivion. Once it goes to oblivion, someone's going to have to pick up that tab. And guess what? It's the world. The world system. Sorry, I guess we are jumping into
the world
I see what you're-
system.
Mhm.
Well, I don't. Mine's a little bit of a tangent. It's to understand that there's several ways to look at it. One could be, okay, the current administration is antichrist because everybody always wants to demonize the other one that they don't believe in, right?
Sure.
So there's that. Or from a biblical standpoint, there is often where the wicked will store up for the righteous.
So what does that mean to you?
So one could look at an administration as like the antichrist, and they're doing bad and wicked with it, or it can be that if the administration is righteous, that it's already been stored up for them to either dismantle or distribute.
Because is the American currency, is that the highest currency on the planet right now? Is the euro or whatever it is? Or
Yeah, we're
because
still,
our currency's higher than everybody else, right?
Yeah, it's 20-1 down in Mexico.
Well,
20 pesos
but
and
if you
$1.
look at it like I was bringing it back into perspective, if the economy crashes,
Mhm.
if everybody's paying taxes and our deficit gets out of control, and whoever we owe money to, and I don't know if America owes money to anybody, but I would imagine if you have a
China.
deficit, you owe money. What if they turn around and say, "Hey, I want my money back"?
Oh, they can.
Then at that point, we are now in trouble. And is that the reason cryptocurrency, we're trying to bring it in
So
in a
I think that is a reason. I think that eventually, we know that anytime China, whoever, can call our payment and say, you know what, now it's time for you to pay up. We're playing a fine political game, using money. Well, because money obviously controls, right? It's powerful. I don't do anything without money, right? If you want services rendered, show me the money first.
You want some services?
Yeah.
Right.
But the debt that
This
you
has-
keep with other countries keeps your economy going. That's why you probably never see.
Does it
war.
really?
Yeah. If China's in debt to me for trillions of dollars, I know they're just going to keep paying our country, which keeps us our. You're not in debt to some poor country, are you?
Well, no.
So
I get
if you're in
it.
debt to a good country, that means
But
your,
debt-
your
but debt-
economy's good.
I do not believe debt can ever be good because I owe
Biblically
$400,000 on my house, and if I don't pay it,
You're on the street.
I mean, so America's got all this
But do
debt.
you think America's in debt to China and China's in debt to America?
That's what I'm asking you. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Any callers?
If any of our callers know better than us, call us at 303-477-5600.
Because
That's
most
a
of
good
the-
question he's asking.
Because most of what I think is if you're in debt to another country, it's for economy-based situations.
Well, okay. So does our oil back our dollar bill? Since remember last episode we said
Yeah, we
the
were talking about
gold's about run out, but there's an abundance of oil still. So is that really what's backing our
it's
dollar?
fiat.
bill?
I guess what I'm
Fiat.
asking is why you're in debt to another country.
Well,
are you
that's
in
what
debt
we
to
wanna
China?
know.
So apparently China is not in debt to the United States. It is definitely the other way around, which
Yeah,
we
well,
do know that for a fact.
Aren't we 1.8 trillion to China?
768.3 billion in US
So
debt.
we owe another country $1 billion. The
But
greatest
for what?
country. That's what I'm saying. The greatest country on the planet is in debt to another country. That's absurd to me. I mean, I mean that would be
But-
like
I think-
you being a billionaire
but
and
I
being in
think-
debt to another billionaire. That doesn't make any kind of sense to me.
Well, but I think it's because China actually owns. It's
The
almost
bonds.
like China owns stock in
Yeah, our
America.
bonds and such.
So if they were to call on the money, it's kind of like a bank. When you have money invested in a bank, they only have so much money that they could withdraw or give to you. And then if everybody made a run on all of their savings, the bank could not do it. So
Let me clarify. 768.3. This is how much debt they own from our debt. That's just a fraction. 768 billion. They chose to take 768 billion in U.S. debt, making it the second largest foreign holder of U.S. Treasury securities after Japan. Which
So-
currently
so-
Japan holds 1.1 trillion of our debt.
Wow.
So basically, America is in debt, is what it's coming down to, and I think at least all of us live by a budget, right? Are you
Right.
on a budget?
man, I did so great on Dave Ramsey's budget, and
Yeah.
and then at the end of it,
Life
when
happens.
we paid off $200,000, man, we're probably about $250 back now
Okay, so you paid off
I'm right.
$200,000
in 4 years.
in 4 years. Listeners,
Good.
listen to this. We're talking about money, wasteful spending, Doge. You can reach us at 303-477-5600. Tell our listeners how you paid off. How much did you just say?
So we $200,000.
$200,000 in 4 years.
So-
That's amazing.
So thank you.
Hold on, before if you can do that, America should be able
If
to
I-
do it.
Yeah.
But I think that was the goal. Now let's just
Hold
be
on,
fair
let,
to
let,
Doge.
let them tell our listeners how
It's,
you did this first.
Well, obviously we had to. When you find out that you're not really good at something, then you have to seek out somebody who's good at something.
True.
And so we
True.
sought out and found Dave Ramsey, which held along with the ideals that I had. And it was so funny because when my wife and I got on a budget and everything, we were running that for about a month. You get on a budget and you pay down things with a debt snowball and follow his plan. About 2 months in, the wife and I, she was like, we need to go talk about this. And so we went and had a Chipotle dinner.
Was it a hard discussion
Oh,
talking to
bro,
your wife
she
about finances?
Check it out, though. God downloaded some information to my mind immediately. And so the wife says, I feel like you're trying to control me with money. And like split second, I said, no, I'm trying to get us to control our money for our future.
Sure. And that brings that's a great example of our debt in a macro level, because we have too many politicians that have stepped in and said, no, you can't, we don't want to control that debt. We want it,
Too messy.
it's too messy,
Too
right?
messy.
And what I was trying to get to is that Doge, it only represented a small portion of our debt.
Right.
They only exposed a small portion. if they were left to work 4 years, how much more debt would we find?
Right. So then let me say this: it's what it comes down to is focused intensity for a short period of time on anything. And this is Dave
Sure.
Ramsey.
What do you mean by that?
Focused intensity on any one given thing, we
Mhm.
will excel at. We will get better at. So if we focus on finance for a short period of time, like all intensity, we're not multitasking and doing other stuff. So if you budget and then you start finding money in places.
Hey, buddy,
that you
hold on.
didn't-
I'm gonna give you a hand clap for that, bro. That
Thanks.
was good advice, guys.
No, yeah.
I mean, if anybody out there
Plug
is
in Dave
struggling
Ramsey.
with money,
Yeah.
he just gave Dave
It was-
Ramsey a plug.
It
That
was-
was
and Dave, I'm
that was
sorry.
legit.
Dave, I'm sorry because immediately after,
You
after
just
the-
boosted his sales.
we-
Why
we
are you
paid-
saying
well,
sorry?
we paid off $200,000 in debt in 4 years, and we were cash flowing stuff. Like I had $18,000 worth of tooth work done. I had a $5,000 shoulder. All this stuff, we were just cash flowing, man, and we were able to like live and give to people. And so, what happened though was directly after it, we didn't have any direction as to how we were gonna get a house, what we were gonna do, and nothing was coming to fruition, and it didn't come fast enough. So what we went 2 Elon Musk Teslas. Boom! Right there,
And
we went
if-
110 into debt.
If
man.
anybody wants to call and talk to the guys, the number's 303-477-5600. We're talking about wasteful spending, Doge, taxes, and basically for guys. Because you know how normally men are real controlling when it comes to money. What would you
Right.
say? Well,
Well,
Andre,
I
what would
don't
you
know if
say
it's
to a
con-
guy?
I don't think it's controlling. I think
But-
the argument is that we're more, we're not emotionally driven per se. And let's just be real. You know, if you
So
read,
you'll go analytical. Or,
Yeah, yeah. yeah, totally,
mathematical.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think,
lot
I think
more-
women have more. I think
Emotion.
women spend more money shopping.
an emotional thing. That's why advertising is so.
But do you guys
pushes-
really believe
pushes
that?
them.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
of
a
course.
good. You
Of
think
course.
advertising pushes more to relate
Oh, yeah.
towards a
Emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Well,
We
Well,
have
doesn't-
decades of empirical studies on that.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you refute that?
no. I'm not trying to refute it. I just think that I think finances isn't a sexual thing. I think anybody who realizes I'm in debt
Yeah.
can get out of debt. It may
Agreed.
take a long time.
Some women are way better in financing, or have
Oh,
finances
for
than men.
sure.
But here's the thing too, though, man, is men do the same, and it may not be emotional, but it's probably pride and ego.
I think
And
that.
so when we have pride and ego wrapped up in our worth and value by the dollars that we have or don't have, then all of a sudden we're also manipulated, because then advertising is like, oh, do you have a woman?
If somebody
Oh,
out there is listening and wants to know how to get out of debt, Brian, you've been waiting to say something. What would be the first thing you tell them to want to get out of debt?
Well, I'm not the guy to ask. I'm in debt.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
never
but,
mind.
but the perspective matters.
Yeah, but yeah.
but
that
no,
position.
yeah, but it would take dedication. I mean, if you got addictions of any sort, right, you're gonna have to give those up, right? My mom has an addiction to go to the grocery store and buy groceries and go to the flower
For
shop
her
and
baby
buy
boy?
flowers. Which, you know, I mean, she's
So basically what you're saying-
spending,
so basically-
but she's in debt.
So basically, what you're saying is the government's got to stop spending money on stupid stuff.
Yes, and so
Well,
you
then
guys
let
are
me
out.
ask you guys this: giving money to Ukraine, was it a waste of time?
Of course.
Oh wow, I'm
That's
surprised you said
interesting.
that.
You
Of course
said
it is,
that.
bro.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
But
there's a two-sided sword to that. One, you want to help people defend themselves, correct?
Correct.
So I'd give them money to that part, but yet you're giving them money to a dead end too, because the war can just continue to go and go and go, and so you're just spending money.
Create the
spending money.
war machine.
I would give them
The war
money to help them defend themselves, and then call it it.
Okay,
And
Andre,
wrap it up.
what would
Well-
you say to somebody who needs advice?
Sorry to get back to Ukraine. I agree with what Donald Trump's trying to do. We're not giving you the money. You know, it's kind of that Lend and Lease program from World War II. Let's go ahead and get some of that money back. Let's recoup it. Obviously, you know, it didn't work the way it should, and obviously, in my opinion, Ukraine is dragging Trump along and saying they're just full of empty promises. But at a point, you know, you got to say enough's enough. But the problem is, we're also, you know, Europe is very strong into financing that war as well. It's not just us.
Tell you what, man, you pump the money into a war, and it it tears down a place so that they could build it up like Dubai.
Well, what about like the barter system? Why can't the United States do that? Say, okay, well, instead of us giving you money, let's try to help you with people to help
Because
do
It's
A, B, C,
too
and
too much
D.
corruption.
because it's back to the same thing where it's you can either give people the guns or you can give them the money to get the guns.
Okay.
You could give people the food or you could give them the money to get the food.
So-
Money can get all of it.
So I'm not hating on politicians, but what services do they provide except to maybe interpret some of the laws? But a lot of these politicians, for instance, that were bartenders, how in the world did they become a politician? AOC. Explain how she has the authority and the intelligence and the knowledge to be able to govern people in her own state. That's the problem that I see, is that we have too many people that are in politics, and the only reason why they get into politics is because they know they can make a buck. I even joked around, if I wanted to be a multimillionaire, I'd become a politician. And sorry for all you politicians. I know there's some really good ones out there. There really is. And there's some that, like that really helped us out. But there's a lot, unfortunately, that are being highlighted that have no usefulness to them, in my opinion.
Well, with the last segment of the show, I just want to kind of take a left turn.
No, we're
No,
staying
I
on
don't want to
budget.
talk about the government's debt
Inability.
anymore and how they're going to get out of it. I want you to talk to me and how I'm going to get out of my debt.
Step
How about
one.
we talk about
Okay,
I'll tell you,
yeah,
hey,
that's
Hey,
what
no,
I'm saying.
thanks.
For-
That's good.
Yeah, for everybody who's wanting to know, we are talking about money, wasteful spending. I think in order for a person to get out of debt, they first, like you said with your wife, you first have to have an intelligent conversation about money. I think so many people are afraid to talk about money,
Yes.
and you stay in debt because you're not willing
Yes.
to talk about it.
Well, and let me use this one phrase, and it's insanity is doing the same thing expecting a different result.
Yep.
And so if you're poor and you continue to do the same thing and you're poor, and you ask people who are poor, then all of a sudden you're not finding your way out. You have to find somebody who's already done it, been through it, and made it.
So another thing too, and that's where Dave Ramsey is a great example, because he talks about the debt he incurred and how all of a sudden it got wiped away. You got to think about one simple thing, is that at the end of the day, any of your legs could be easily removed from right underneath you to where you were debt free, and all of a sudden now you've incurred debt, whether it's medical, whether it's legal, whether it's just even the IRS or whatever the case may be. And sometimes those are the best teachers we have around, and the best teacher is to find someone that happened to, instead of living it.
Yeah.
Really, that'd be ideal. But with that said, the biggest thing you have to do first and foremost is create a budget. And that goes along with the government.
But with the budget, what you're talking about the budget, but it's hard because it takes restraint.
It does.
And I think a lot of people don't have
That's-
they don't have self-control.
That's
That's
exactly
the thing
it.
about getting out of debt. You got to realize I cannot go out and purchase that
Starbucks.
$100,000 boat today when I don't have the means to do it. Sure, my credit score might be able to get. I might get it on credit, but I don't need to compete with my neighbor. And I think that's where we've been taught growing up, is we want all the flashy new stuff right out the gate.
Yeah, we want to try to keep up with the Joneses. We want to.
Credit cards.
Yeah.
Credit cards are if you talk to Dave Ramsey, they want you to destroy every credit card. Don't even keep it. Don't
Right.
freeze it. Don't do anything with it. Just eliminate it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense when you think about it, because credit card debt right now is in the trillions for all of
Oh, I can
for
pull
the
it up
majority
right
of
here on
Americans.
this calculator.
But don't you think people hold on to their credit cards just in case? Like, you pay it off and you know in your heart that you should get rid of that credit card.
Yeah,
you
but
should cut it
you
off,
say-
but you keep it
Right.
just for a safe haven.
No,
just
no.
for one
much?
day.
How much you got in credit card?
Yeah,
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I would say, it's.
say it.
I know what he's
Yeah.
talking about, because I just paid off my debt, right?
Did you?
I was so thankful to the Lord for that. But guess what? All of
Right
them are
back
maxed out again.
Right back in.
And that's-
because you
we
come
haven't
to
learned
a-
lesson.
And that's
You come to a
behavior.
you come to a
Behavior.
false
Yeah.
sense of security because you paid it off once. Oh, guess what? I'm gonna pay off my debt
Brian,
again.
That's behavior. So that's kind of what
I
Dave
got
Ramsey.
bad behavior.
Yeah, it's a learned bad behavior. You're right.
And then
It is.
you're reinforcing that bad behavior by treating yourself poorly for having fallen again. Seriously.
Well,
Seriously.
so
You have to-
and on that line,
So
getting out of debt and going back into debt, is there a way that we can teach our own children or our own family of
understand
how?
money?
Yes.
Yeah, it's financial literacy.
Sorry, I keep wanting to bring this back to Doge and all that and the government.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I think there should be a penalty. Bad behavior should be rewarded by booting these people out of office. Why in the world do we have senators that have terms, what seems to be a lifetime terms? If they were only given maybe 7 years to get their stuff done or get out.
Why can't America file bankruptcy like everybody else?
Oh, because
no, you know what I'm saying? I mean, is bankruptcy that bad of a thing? I mean, Donald Trump did it like 3 times.
Yeah.
So can I go
You'll
back to what Andre
devalue
said?
the
You're
currency,
telling-
destroy
Probably.
the economy.
Are you telling me some politicians have a lifetime job?
Oh yeah,
It seems
like,
that way.
Hey, look at Bernie Sanders. How long has that dude been in office, man? That dude, he barely clinging on to
Yeah,
life.
you should be given an
And
age.
so, and let's be real, Chuck Schumer, who's the Republican dude that can, like, freezes mid sentence?
All these politicians, have been in office a long time.
Too
There
long.
needs to be a term limit.
Absolutely. If they term limit, a president, why in the world aren't we term limiting
Well,
a senator,
Like
any politician?
Because-
so I've owned my business for 27 years.
And if you suck, you're out. You're shut down, or otherwise you're restarting.
Except that I own it.
There you go.
Except that I own it. Yeah.
And you provide something useful to others.
Right.
What does a politician provide? Man, I'm hating on politicians. Sorry, you
Yeah,
politicians.
You are hating on
I'm like,
politicians today. No. That's
I'm
good
like
talk.
devil's
This
advocate.
is really good talk because
If you're a
what we're talking about
politician.
is right. Who got us into debt? I didn't. I'm not over the finances.
Good
You
point.
guys aren't. The
Yeah,
politicians are. They're the ones. Congress is dictating where the money goes. If you know where your money's at. You know where your money's at, and we don't even got to look at our bank accounts. And I guarantee, if I was to go around the room, if you wanted to share, each one of us would know exactly what we have in our savings.
Absolutely.
How in the world is America in debt?
Yeah. Try
When
me
you're
on,
the ones-
on my business and my personal. Try me.
No. We don't. No.
$1,874 in my personal, $971 in my business. But I
Good
got a
job.
couple
Oh,
of
you
checks coming
rich.
in.
You rich.
But the point
But
I'm
you're,
making.
but you're right because you're paying attention. When you pay
That's
attention
right.
and you focus on something.
Yeah, but
So
see, it's
how is
easy.
it that the best of the best, the people who are supposed to,
Yeah.
like be superior
So-
in their ability to manage money,
So
have mismanaged.
The government accountability
It's gotta be by
office
design.
that Brock brought up earlier, I paid attention to that a lot, and it's amazing how much they have said the exact same thing. We don't know where this money went. We don't know where that money went. Well, how come nobody's being accountable if they're supposedly in the title of their name and description? They're supposed to be the government accountability, department, the Office of Accountability. Like, where's the accountability? Because guess what? If you short the IRS, guess who's knocking on your door?
Guys, look
Huh.
at this. So okay.
Whoa.
Okay, go.
Dude, you're making me feel like a hypocrite
You are.
because you guys are judging other people for being in debt, but yet you're in debt.
We're not.
Wait a minute, we're not judging others.
We're not judging anybody.
We're not judging,
We're
but you're
trying to
like,
help.
We're in the same boat, buddy.
We're trying to help people get out of debt. That's what we're guys' perspective. We're talking about money.
Yeah.
My house has me in debt.
Right?
Yeah.
Guys,
So are you in debt? Are you in debt?
Yeah, brother.
Are you in debt, bro?
so my house, yes.
Are you in debt, Andre?
Well, of course, if you own a business,
I'm
you're always in
debt.
debt.
So we're all in debt.
We're in
But-
debt.
And
But
so's
that's-
America.
But no,
We're all in debt.
no. Hold on, no. That's not it. Like he said,
He's trying to do a kumbaya moment.
America has all the money, and they have leaders that we're following after. They're in
Tell me
debt,
this.
and we should not. Look what I just pulled up. Debt per citizen is $107,000.
No,
It's probably close to what most people.
107,000. I think that's about right. I have heard
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it's probably close.
If
to
every
it.
person, poor, rich, and
For sure.
middle class, etc., and high income,
Yeah.
if we all pay that, the United States supposedly would be out of debt. But
Right.
Wow.
I'd argue against that because we will never be out of debt.
Because it's almost like
Because
they
we're-
don't want us to be out of
Hey,
debt.
one quick question. How long do you think America has been in debt?
Probably since the
Civil
very
War.
beginning.
No, Civil War is kind of when everything started to, we basically were at war against ourselves, so we had to utilize. It was Abraham Lincoln who brought in the T-bill or whatever it was, and I wish there was someone out there that could, correct me. on
Yes,
that.
again, we're at 303-477-5600. It says U.S. federal spending is officially at $7 trillion.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, if
And
I
it's
had
growing.
a debt,
It's
yeah.
growing.
and it's growing.
and it's not. It's because of the capitalization of all of the interest that goes from second to second. As you're holding that phone up, look how many.
Look at the
Look how much
numbers
debt that
moving on
goes.
that, dude. Look at
It's amazing.
Medicare.
It's
Medicare is in the
unbelievable.
$1 trillion. This is crazy.
Show that. Give everybody that
Look,
website.
look at this.
Give that
where's-
website. Well, no,
Look,
tell
okay,
everybody who
so
can't
I
see.
didn't know about the U.S. U.S.
Debt
clock,
clock.
debt clock. I just happened to stumble across it, and if this is real, what I'm looking at, people, then America has got more debt than I could ever.
They're heavy.
Hey, one more thing before we get out of here. You were talking about Medicare. Do you think that's America's fault that the Medicare bill's so high because they're allowing foods in this country that are not
No.
allowed in other countries?
Corruption,
So you
buddy.
have people that are sick and whatever else. Dude, there's products that are being sold in our grocery stores that are not even allowed in England.
And so, let me get back real quick. It's usdebtclock.org
Yeah,
for anybody who wants
so-
to check it out. It's insane.
Yeah, I just happened to
USdebtclock.org.
stumble across it. I've never seen
Yeah.
it again. We're at
Check
Call
that
us,
out. So you could be as upset as us, guys. Check
yeah.
that out.
Every Saturday you can call us from 2 to 3 at 303-477-5600.
Back in my day.
And just remember, people, try your best to get out of debt. I'm trying my best. All of us are
Yeah,
trying.
we
but
are.
You don't
Hopefully
want to
United
live
States
in
is too.
debt. You don't.
Check us out on our podcast,
your debt's been-
Facebook.
Your debt's been
YouTube.
paid. Your debt's been paid by Jesus.
Amen.
Have a good day.
Holy
Oh,
moly.
Good Lord, I was everywhere.
This dude's
You're-
like.
you're right
You had a
though,
good
bro.
question, though,
Who
Brian.
cares about US being in my? I
I
care
do.
about us being in debt.
But I know where Brian was going was he was talking about the other countries that won't accept like the food that we're eating, and that's all tied into the Food and Drug Administration, which they
Oh, it
poison us.
is.
They poison us so that we're forever
Yeah.
beholden to them going to the hospitals and
Yeah.
such. So I do believe in some capacity when we're talking about all of this debt stuff that it is by design.
We should throw that out there.
It's over.
I agree with you.
I wish we had more time.
I agree
wish
with
we
you.
had more time for that.
You really
That
need to
was
throw
a
that
show.
out there.
It was a really
It
good
was.
show.
I don't know. It was everywhere.
At the
That was
start,
all right.
though,